Hey everybody, how you doing? Woo! My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for this outstanding Flyers postgame here at PHLY. What a night. Oh, Matvey Mishkov. That's right, we got it. It's Mishkov, it sounds like. JJ, he's the one we listen to. 2 points, an empty net goal at the end sets up a beautiful Eric Johnson goal of all people. Sam Ersson with a, was it 35, 36 save shutout. Stupendous. Really, really looking forward to talking to Charlie about this one. But we gotta chat now. 2-0 win over the Islanders. Very fun. Happy for Sam Ersson to kind of move on from last year. First game action for him in the preseason, and he was lights out from the very beginning and had to be because the Flyers, they mentioned this on the broadcast, kind of eased their way into all three periods, and to keep this thing under control, Ersson had to be sharp to start each period, and he absolutely was. He ends up with, trying to find the shot total here, 37 saves. Islanders got 37 shots on net. Ersson stopped them all. But the story, it's Mishkov mania, man. That's what we're talking about right now. Just popped all night with the puck skill, the vision, the hockey IQ. Very, very exciting home debut. He now has a goal and 3 assists in his first 2 preseason games, not to mention he scored in the rookie game. And I know the Flyers have been trying to really temper expectations for this kid. They don't want to put the weight of the world on him. He's still not even 20 years old yet. But he seems like the truth, man. That was, watching this game, I know that their scouting of Jet Luchenko told them, and we mentioned this in pregame, like, oh, if he had someone helping him out, he could have had 90, 100 points in the OHL last year, but it was just him, so his totals were a little deflated. Man, that's what Mishkov looked like tonight. Just beautiful pass after beautiful pass, smart plays, whether it's finding a little hole in the neutral zone and redirecting a puck to set up a 2-on-1 for Frost and Tippett, whether it was the pass to Cam York, a few nice breakout passes, just really, really good stuff from the Mad Russian. It was, it feels good today, man. You always have that fear. Like, this guy is supposed to be the franchise savior. He's supposed to be it for us. This is the superstar. And there's always, but what if he isn't? And I'm not saying he's an elite player already. I'm not saying he's going to have 100 points this year. But you see the makings of an awesome freaking player and a dude who I think is going to score a ton of points already. If you can still find the preseason lines for him at, like, I think I got it at 46.5, 47.5 total points. I mean, why wouldn't he put up that? I mean, there's no way he's not a half a point player, half a point a game player, right? Like, we're not asking for too much more than that, but he looks like a guy right now who, his playing style is just that of somebody who is constantly trying to get the puck to a dangerous area, whether it's, all right, I have Tippett storming ahead of me on this breakout, so I'm just going to nudge it up the boards a little, and he'll be able to pick it up on the fly and get the puck deep in the zone. Or if he's trying to center it from behind the net, put pucks on net from a sharp angle, looking for rebounds. I really thought the one sharp angle shot he had was to set up he's on the right side, takes the sharp angle with the left-handed shot. I really thought he was trying to set himself up for scoop up the rebound, wrap it around for a Michigan, but the puck hopped a little bit at the end of the period. Very, very exciting watching Matvey Mishkov in his Philadelphia debut, and I bet everyone watching was just as happy as I was. But there was a lot to get into, but it's really the kid's playing style that stands out. Attack the high danger areas. He's going to put up points. He's not a finished product yet by any means, but but it just seems like unless he's really, really snake bitten, like the way Tyson Forster was, what was it, 15 games to start the season last year without a goal. Like unless something like that happens where it's just, I can't explain it. He's playing well. The puck's just not going in. He is going to put up points. That's his game because he's constantly attacking. Other guys, it was also Jet Luchenko's home debut, his first game in Wells Fargo Center tonight. He was out there a lot with Tyson Forster and Travis Konechny. The little things that they love about him are certainly very obvious. He's fast. I mean, that's a given. The dude can freaking skate. But the board battles, the little elements of his game, D-zone coverage, all that stuff, the penalty killing, he looked strong. But this is what I want to ask Charlie. Does Jet Luchenko to make this team have to knock down the door and have great performance after great performance where they just can't send him back? Or does he have to do something that it's like, we got to send him back? Like, is he on the bubble leaning in and they're looking for reasons to not? Or it's like, oh no, you have to super impress us for us to make this team. Because that wasn't what I saw tonight. I didn't see a dude who was like, kick down the door, I'm here. That was like, Mishkov looked like that tonight. He looked like a dude who is not only ready to play in the NHL, but be an impactful player in the NHL. That's not what I saw from Luchenko tonight. I saw a guy who's good. He's definitely good. And I think he can help this team, even if it's just as a role player, third line center, whatever it might be. But I didn't see a dynamic element tonight from Jet Luchenko. I want to get to the goalies because I was very much expecting Cal Peterson to come in for the third, but it stayed Sam Erson's game, and good thing it did. I know it's preseason. It's not as if the wins and losses matter, but you want to send the people home happy, and if they're not leading, you don't get a chance to set Mishkov up with the empty net goal that he scored. So I was very, very impressed with Sam Erson tonight. He, listen, we all know how the season ended for him. It was, little rough start last year, his first couple of games. He was getting his feet under him in the NHL. He had the little tryout at the end of the previous season, but it was really his first extended action in the NHL. And it was a little slow. And then from like the third or fourth game he played through January, basically, he earned every start. It was like, oh, okay, we can get him in there again. Oh, maybe him and Hart should be kind of splitting time a little bit. Man, he's been really good. And then all of a sudden, the weight of the world was put on Sam Ersson. He was the only NHL caliber goalie they had, and we saw how it ended poorly. Very happy for him to have this performance tonight against a team that near the end of the season, I think it was April 1st, he had one of those, oh, this is bad games. That was, I think it was Fedotov's first game when he came in relief for Ersson after, I believe, just one period. It was a rough go for him, but he also played an awesome game last year against the Islanders. Ersson did. He had, I think it was the shootout win, 1-0 win in a shootout. That was our first PHLY like remote show that we did here for the Flyers. So always fun. But Sam Ersson, just very happy for him to first game knocking the rust off. Nope. He was sharp right away and earned the 60-minute shutout tonight. Happy he got to finish what he started when he goes into the 25 for 25 through 40 minutes. You're like, all right, that's a good night. Maybe we bring in Cal Peterson. Don't want to overdo it. Game one, but nope, he stayed in and he closed the door at the end. Great start for Sam Ersson, and I'm excited to see how this goalie competition goes. And they alluded to it tonight, and we talked about it in pregame. I'm sure we'll talk about it plenty with Charlie tomorrow. He'll be joining us a little later, but I'm just looking forward to seeing, all right, this Kolosov thing, want to get Fedotov in more, but excellent start for Sam Ersson. The power play didn't get a ton of time tonight. Was looking forward to seeing how that would look. Rocky Thompson was the head coach filling in for Torts tonight, and he's got some pressure on him. I think Rocky Thompson, at least when it comes to running this power play, You see, okay, we've added a dynamic element in Mishkov. We'll see which defenseman ends up being on this power play, but you think with Jamie Drysdale's offensive upside, he's going to get the first crack at the first unit when the season starts. You have a couple more guys than you did last year in terms of talent, and you have some young guys maturing a little, getting a little better. Saw Forster out there tonight. He was really good, I thought. But this power play, if it's just competent, we're not asking for the world here. I don't need them at 30%. Like that's like asking for unicorns, you know? I just need them to be like 18, 19%, and they can be in the playoffs. We're not going crazy here. It's baseline competence. Don't be the freaking worst by a lot. You know, like if they improve 10%, they're still pretty bad. Like I just need you to be a little bit better. At 12.2%, like, goodness gracious, that's ridiculous. Didn't get a ton of looks tonight. There was, I think, one good chance for Mishkov down low on the power play, but that's going to be a work in progress. That's going to be the thing. And the goaltending. We still have no idea what this goaltending is going to be. Again, it was nice night for Sam Ersson. We've seen a little of Fedotov, but I still have no idea what the hell he is. Those are the two things that it's going to determine. Okay, is this a step forward year, or are we going to have to make some tough decisions, whether it comes to coaching staff, how we're going to work this power play, what we're going to do with the goaltending? So I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes as well. The defense. York and Sanheim, we know they're the top pair, especially coming in. We'll see what Drysdale does. And Zamula, Risto, Eric Johnson played tonight, and I thought he made some. I mean, he scores the goal. I thought he had some nice defensive plays, honestly. It's crazy to see Eric Johnson down low in the offensive zone. Like, oh, yeah, this is okay. Good for him. But the three guys we're really looking at tonight, Emil Andre, Adam Ginning, and Helge Grans. And we're just kind of looking, is someone going to knock down the door, become maybe the seventh defenseman, maybe push Igor Zamula into the press box. Maybe, all right, there's a little bit more urgency to maybe trade Rasmus Ristolainen, something like that, so you can open up a spot for one of these young guys. Adam Ginning, I thought, defensively good. We know that about him. He's solid in his D zone, and he has to be because, man, he handles the puck like a grenade sometimes. I thought he turned it over a little too much. Just a lot of failed clears, even on the penalty kill, when it's like, dude, just fire it down the ice. You're not going to ice it. You're on the PK. And I don't know. Just didn't love him with the puck on his stick tonight. Helge Grans, I didn't think did anything to really stand out. I saw one play where he got beat to the outside, and the guy got to the net, but luckily Ersson was there. Okay, Charlie will be here in a few minutes, so that's good. Forgot to turn the sound off of my laptop. But I thought of all of them, and I wouldn't say he was stupendous or anything, but Emil Andre, the puck skills, the vision, he is a good puck-moving player. I think he could probably hold his own on a third pair right now, potentially be your maybe power play 2 quarterback, something like that. I think he has a chance. He's got to build on tonight's performance. It's another one of those, I wonder if they're going to try to get him in there because they like he does things that not everyone on this blue line can do. Or it's like, well, Sanheim and York really took steps last year. We have so much invested in Jamie Drysdale. We want to give him so much opportunity. And suddenly a thing that they were really lacking in last year when Emil Andre made the team out of camp, ultimately got sent down, but made the team because of his intriguing skill set. Suddenly he's a little redundant. He's not as necessary as he was to start last year because they have other guys. I'm looking forward. That's just another coaching decision that we're going to know a lot about their thought process. That's how, like, the next week or two with the cuts and who gets more games and what we want to see out of them and who gets more and more ice time. I think we're going to learn a lot about their thought process and where they think they are in this rebuild just through the decisions they make on players like Andre, players like Jet Luchenko, seeing where they are. How you doing tonight, JP?
I'm doing great. It's great to see Mishkov there out there as well. So it was a really dope night to kind of see everything kind of play out there.
That's my boy JP Zapata. He's pulling double. I mean, I just saw you on Roku as well. Are you pulling like quadruple duty tonight, man? Like, have you just been here all day? Is this your home now?
Essentially, pretty much. I live here. I live here.
JP Zapata, both co-hosting and producing tonight. He's on the Union Show. There he is. There's my guy.
Woo.
On the Union Show, the star of the Anthony Gargano Show. Can't say enough about JP Zapata's
Appreciate
work here. Before we bring in Charlie O'Connor, who should be with us pretty shortly, we got to pay some bills. We got to pay some bills, my friends. So we're going to start out telling you about our friends at Rite Aid. That's right. It's fall allergy season. We're in the middle of it now. It's almost October. It is hardcore fall allergy season. And we know the culprits, the ragweed, the mold, plants like sagebrush, that dreaded pigweed, dust mites, even pet dander and fur. We love our pets, but they carry the allergens too. It sucks. I've been a fall allergy sufferer my whole life. I used to get bad nosebleeds. I don't get them as much anymore. But it's like the first couple weeks of school. It's like, oh, yeah, this is a great look. Well, there's a couple of things you can do, preventative measures you can take, maybe for a little fall allergy relief. First thing you got to do, sign up for Rite Aid Rewards emails at riteaid.com/rewards to receive email pollen alerts for your area. If pollen counts are high, stay inside, run that AC, do whatever you have to do. Maybe just avoid the allergens altogether. Go to your local Rite Aid. Pick up a dehumidifier. Dust mites and mold thrive in humid environments, and a humidifier helps take the moisture out of the air so the allergens can't grow. Humidifier also very important if, or dehumidifier, that is, also important if maybe your basement floods. You have to go to Rite Aid, pick one of those up. And if you're going to be outside gardening, maybe putting up the Halloween decorations, whatever it might be, wear a mask, wear long sleeves, just kind of protect yourself a little bit. And if that's not enough, you can always check out the over-the-counter options at your local Rite Aid, like a nasal rinse, antihistamines, or nasal corticosteroids, available in name brand and Rite Aid brand at your local Rite Aid. Still not enough relief? Ask a Rite Aid pharmacist if a different type of allergy medication might be necessary. And you can always ask your Rite Aid pharmacist for recommendations on ways to get relief during allergy season. While we're here, Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks, my friends. That's right. If you got a leaky pipe at Ace Hardware Home Services, they're around the block with everything you need to fix it, including the person to do the fixing. You got an air conditioning issue like I did a few weeks ago. Well, they have a guy for that as well. If you have a faucet you said you'd fix last fall, listen, we all think we can do, I'm a man, I can fix the stuff around the house. And then it's like, no, I can't. I'm not nearly as good as this guy in this YouTube video. He's just smarter than I am. Well, don't fear. Ace is around the corner with folks who can help you, because they're not just the helpful hardware folks. They're the helpful home service and repair folks as well. From plumbing to heating and cooling, they've got the trusted pros to keep your home humming all year long. Ace Hardware Home Services, they're bringing helpful home, the helpful you love, from the store now to your front door. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project today. Those are both a couple of long ones, but I love doing those are good reads. I think I'm pretty good at those ones. I'm really, really excited. Like, usually preseason to me, I'm like, all right, let's just get this over with. Let's get to the season. And honestly, I kind of thought that way coming into this preseason. Didn't think there would be nearly as much intrigue as there seems to be. Had no idea Jet Luchenko was going to have maybe a chance to make this team. Didn't really think there was many spots open, even for the defensemen that have been around a little bit. But it looks like there's actually more roster battles than we thought. And that's always fun, And we love the shiny new toy here. That's always a good time when you can just have a little bit of intrigue in preseason, have a reason to watch these exhibition games. And yeah, it's Mishkov. We're going to watch everything he does. And I love it's actually, I thought tonight, because we're all like, everyone on Twitter, I'm not immune to it. I'm absolutely doing it as well. Like, every little play Mishkov makes, we're just so excited. And I just thought of this Scrubs quote, Dr. Cox. I love the part right before we start hating each other, and I don't think anyone's turning on Mishkov anytime soon. But it's just really fun to have this. But outside of Mishkov, there's some roster battle intrigue, and now to talk about it, it's Philadelphia's #1 hockey beat writer. It is Charlie O'Connor. How you doing tonight, Chuck?
Doing good, Bill. Can you hear me okay?
I got you. Look at this. Man, look how far we've come. It all worked on the first try for the beginning of our season here, Charlie. All right, I have to get to the most important thing first. The question on everyone's mind: how were the hot dogs?
I did not have a hot dog. They looked good. It seemed like they were getting positive reviews. I did not have a hot dog.
JP called it. He said you're a healthy guy. You weren't going to hit the hot dog stand. All right, Charlie.
Exactly.
You've been
trying to eat healthy, William.
It's hockey season. We don't have to eat healthy. You've been doing this for a while, Chuck. You're no stranger to preseason hockey. It didn't look as if the building was full tonight, but it did seem as if the crowd was pretty into it. Was it different in the Wells Fargo Center tonight? Was there a buzz?
Yeah, there was a buzz. It certainly wasn't anywhere close to being full. I'll tell you that. But yeah, people seemed excited. It seemed like a good atmosphere when Matvei Michkov scores the empty net goal and jumps into the boards. Yeah, people were excited. I think people are. It wasn't a sellout by any means, but I think people are excited. Yeah.
We got to talk about Mishkov and his debut. I was just saying before you came on, every little thing, and I'm not criticizing anyone because I'm doing it too. I'm tweeting out eggplant emojis every time he completes a pass. But he is an exciting player, and the style he plays, man, he is looking to get the puck into a dangerous area no matter what. I realize it's just preseason, but this kid's going to rack up points even though he's not a complete player yet by any means. Is that what you're seeing out of him?
Yeah, I think the really exciting part for me about Michkov right now is that this isn't even his full complement of skills. The passing is translating quicker than anything else, and that's been the exciting part. You're seeing him attack the high danger areas, find his line mates in spots they're not even at yet. Like, the anticipation and the vision has been there. What we really haven't seen yet is his eye for goals. He obviously scores the empty netter, but he hasn't been personally himself attacking the high danger areas as much as I think he ultimately will when he really figures this thing out. But what's exciting is that even before he figures that out, I think he's going to put up a lot of assists because the passing is already there.
It's really stupendous to watch right now. The little subtle moves. I made a John Beebe reference, master of the pass on Twitter early in the game. But we've talked so much about Mishkov's hockey IQ and the idea that he just thinks the game at a genius level, especially offensively. When we say that, is that like the play he makes in the neutral zone to spring that 2-on-1, just finding that soft spot and getting the puck to where it needs to be, and just anticipating Cam York before he's even in the zone to eventually set up EJ's goal? Like, is that what we were talking about when we're talking about hockey IQ?
Yeah, I'm thinking back to a play he made, I believe it was in the first period, when he passed the puck to a spot and let Owen Tippett catch up to it and then have speed as he's going in on the attack. Those are the kind of plays where, like, you can be a good passer and you can be accurate and you can pass the puck to a guy who's open. Michkov is like a quarterback who leads guys open, and that's the exciting part. That's hockey IQ in my mind.
Yeah, it was just like a conversation I was in and out of on Twitter. Like, to me, vision is like Claude Giroux sees Jake Voracek and he's like, I can get this puck over there because he's that good of a passer. And he does. IQ is like, I can get this where it needs to go even though no one else sees it. And that's what I'm seeing out of Mishkov right now. And it's very exciting. Got to talk about Jet Luchenko. And it's you and I think I saw one of your tweets about how he didn't really knock the door down tonight. But those little parts of his game are so evident. He's great in board battles. He's fast, obviously. The penalty killing, all that stuff is there. So I want to ask you, do you think Luchenko has to just kill it to make this team, or are they looking like he has to give them a reason to send him back? Like, which way do you think it's leaning right now?
I truly can't say for certain. My guess is that he has to bang the door down because, again, he's 18 years old. He just turned 18 in August. This is not a guy like last year. In retrospect, Tyson Forrester just needed to have a decent camp to make the team because of what he showed the year before when he had his audition. He got Torts all excited. They loved the details, and he was over 20. He'd had some time. Whereas with Luchenko, he's not obviously ready. I think he needs to make the decision really hard for this team. And look, I asked Rocky Thompson after the game what his thoughts were on Luchenko, and he said he thought Luchenko was good. But then he also said he wasn't anything special. Now, maybe that would have been enough for Tyson Forrester last year. I think it was. I think Tyson Forrester had a good camp, not a special camp. That was enough to get him on the team. But he was 21 years old. He had already played here in the AHL. That made sense. For Luchenko, I think to overcome the fact that he is so young and he can be easily sent back to juniors for more seasoning, I do think he does have to bang the door down, or at least if I was running the team, I would say he has to bang the door down. And while I don't think he was bad tonight, I don't think he put a dent in the door. I think he might have jiggled the handle a little bit, but I don't think he put a dent in the door tonight.
We'll get into this tomorrow. We have our regular show at 4:00 tomorrow, and I am very into both sides of this Luchenko debate. During pregame, I decided that I am on the keep him up here, or at least give him the 9 games wagon. But I'm very interested to get deeper into it with you tomorrow. I'm going to go back to Mishkov for a second, though, Charlie, because I forgot to ask this a second ago. Is he right now, Matvei Mishkov, the best puck handler on the team in terms of just maintaining possession through pressure or traffic?
Yeah, I think so. But it's mostly just because the rest of the team, like no one else in the team is elite at it. Like Morgan Frost has dangles. He can make moves, but he gives the puck up. He can get stripped of the puck and whatnot. Sean Couturier, I think peak Sean Couturier was really good at puck handling. I don't think he's quite there anymore. Maybe he'll get back there this year now that he's healthy. I guess we'll see. There are moves that Mishkov can do that other guys in this team wouldn't even dream of trying in an NHL game. And the fact that he's trying them out and nailing them in preseason games, I think it speaks to both his skill and his confidence. Those are two things you need to be able to make plays like that. So, yeah, I think so. I think that's fair to say.
I want to switch gears, talk about Sam Ersson tonight. First, were you surprised Peterson didn't come in relief in like the first action, like just give him 40 minutes, and it was pretty heavy workload, 25 shots through 2. Are you a little surprised Cal didn't come in for the third?
You mean AHL number 3 goalie Cal Peterson? No, I was not shocked at all that he is not being prioritized by an organization that probably is like wishing they could send him to the ECHL now that Alexei Kolosov is here. No, I was not shocked at all.
It's not even about prioritizing Cal. It was more just like 25 shots, 40 minutes. That's pretty good for a first game out for Sam. But no, I was happy to see he got to close out the shutout, ends up with 37 saves. How important do you think this performance was for Ersson to kind of just put last year behind him and at least start the preseason on a really strong note?
Well, when we talked to him after the game, he more or less said it wasn't that important to him. Now, of course, guys lie all the time. It might have been extremely important to him. I truly do not know. I can't put myself in the head of Sam Ersson. I think it may have been more important to the fans, truthfully. Like, he just wants to have a good camp. He seems like he's a confident guy. He believes in himself. There were a lot of fans, though, that became out on Sam Ersson because of the way the second half went. And I think this was nice for me because I don't have to argue with Ersson haters as much for a couple days after this performance, because a lot of people, particularly online, tend to evaluate the goalie based on the last time they saw the goalie play. And the impression that he gave them over the final month and a half of the season, I guess with the exception of the final 2 games when he played quite well, was not good. And that stuck in their heads all summer. This maybe serves as a reminder that, yeah, this kid can play. And it's a preseason game. It doesn't matter that much. But hey, if it turns people back onto the Sam Harrison train just a little bit more, I'm in favor of it because I think he's a good.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to him hopefully getting a normal year where even if he starts the same number of games, they don't come like 31 out of 36 and he's just gassed and has no chance. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do if they can check that goalie box. That's just one more thing en route to wrapping up this rebuild and getting on the road to contention. I want to talk to defensemen tonight, Charlie. York and Sanheim, they're the number one pair. We know what they can do. Good year last year for both of them. Eric Johnson, we know what he is, the Mark Stahl replacement. But then the other three in the lineup tonight, Andre, Ginning, and Granz, all working to break through to become full-time NHLers. Any of the three make a case for themselves tonight, did you think?
Ginning, no. I don't think he helped his case much at all. We actually asked Rocky Thompson about all three after the game, and Thompson gave pretty frank evaluations of their games. He said he liked Andre and Granz's game. He thought Ginning got off to a good start and then became mistake prone. He said he fought through it, so he liked the fact that he fought through it. But I've already written on my part on Ginning in my article coming after this game, and it was not complimentary. I thought he kind of squandered an opportunity to build on what apparently is a lead, the clubhouse lead. I thought he maybe didn't blow it. It wasn't as bad as the Adder performance, but I thought he had an opportunity to take a lead and run with it. He didn't. On the other side, I thought Andre had a deceptively strong game. It wasn't flashy, but I thought he had a legitimately good game, made good plays with the puck. I thought he was strong away from the puck. He looked strong in battles along the boards. He was not physical, but he didn't get bullied, which was good. Granz, I was not terribly impressed by, but it seems like they were. Thompson specifically named Granz someone who he liked. My thing with Granz, and again, this is his style, he was largely on a pair with Adam Ginning. I don't like that he let Ginning be the lead on that pair. Like, Adam Ginning is not a great puck. And if you are deferring to Adam Ginning, that worries me a little bit because it's like, okay, if you think Ginning is better than you and you think he should be the one driving the play, then who would you be on a pair with where you didn't think you thought you should be the one driving the play? Because Ginning is a stay-at-home defensive defenseman, and you basically were like, hey, you do all the puck movement. So I think he was fine in coverage, but to me, he was just a little passive for my liking. Whereas I thought Andre had a strong game, maybe his strongest, might have been the strongest game I've seen him play, including the rookies, to be honest.
Yeah, I thought Ginning was a failed clear machine tonight, just handling the puck like a freaking grenade, generating that defense, as we like to say. Just a couple more here for you, Charlie. Oscar Eklund, Rodrigo Abels, any of the intriguing offseason additions stand out to you at all?
Well, Eklund stood out to me, but not in a good way. He was real bad. He was not good. And Rocky Thompson did not shy away from the fact that Eklund was not good. He straight up said after the game that he was bad. He made mention that it seems like he's still trying to adjust to the North American game, a new location, new style, but he was not good. I thought Abels was fine. I don't think he was amazing or anything, but he was fine. He was solidly decent, I would say. Eklund, however, if he had any chance of making the team before this game, I think that's gone. It wasn't quite Ronnie Adder level of performance, but it was pretty bad.
Charlie, 2-2-on-1s for Owen Tippett. He passes on both of them. What world are we living in?
Well, it was a world where I asked him after the game, and it was a world where he was trying to get Matvei Michkov a goal. He straight up said, yeah, it was his first home game. We've been giving him, apparently Konechny, because of course he is, has been giving him crap because Michkov didn't score on Sunday. It's like, you haven't gotten your goal yet, so he's been ragging on him. So Tippett was apparently trying to get Michkov the goal, and they got him a goal, so it all worked out.
I honestly thought the post shot was more impressive than the goal itself, but I like that he's out there in that situation, and it's like a save, man. You end the game. He's the player of the game. Any other interesting coach comments before we let you out of here tonight, Chuck?
Not really. I think we pretty much nailed all the players that Thompson talked about. He was, as I said, very frank about his view on how everybody played. He was obviously very complimentary of Mishkov. He thought he was great. The way he uses line mates, everything like that. I think Mishkov, especially from the second period on, was really, really good. And I will say, I got to say this because I found this very funny. The first, I wish I could say the first of very few, but it's Flyers Twitter, so there will be more. I had the first person come into my mentions midway through the third period saying, "Yeah, Mishkov looks like he's going to be good, but you guys overhyped him. He's not that great." So that made me laugh, and I basically just responded with LMAO, and then he came with another thing, and then I just responded with K, because you know what? If you're making sweeping observations about whether Matvei Mishkov is transcendent or not off of 2 preseason games, go touch grass, buddy.
All right, Chuck. We will talk tomorrow at 4:00 our normal time. People were disappointed there was no show today to talk Kolosov and Johansson, but plenty of time to do that, and Mishkov and Luchenko and everything tomorrow. I will see you then, my friend.
Sounds good. Thanks, Bill.
That is Philadelphia's #1 hockey beat writer, Charlie O'Connor, coming to us from the Wells Fargo Center. And before we go any further, let's just take this time, pay a couple more bills here. And I love my Shady Rays. I love my Shady Rays sunglasses. And you got to get ready for all seasons with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. I've told you many times, my wife does not like polarized sunglasses, and now I have to get her own pair of Shady Rays because she won't stop stealing mine. I have 2 pairs, and they're never where I leave them because she goes to work before me, and my sunglasses are now missing. I have to get her some Shady Rays, and luckily, Shady Rays, exclusively for our listeners, is giving out the best deal this season. Head to ShadyRays.com and use code PHLY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. I'm going to have to get a couple more pairs just to keep my household sane because they just keep turning up missing. And while we're here, it's FOCO time. I love me some FOCO, and what better time of the year to use code PHLY10 at FOCO.com, because guess what? It's baseball playoffs, and you know what that means. It's overall season, baby. There's no better spokesman for FOCO than Garrett Stubbs. It's just, you see him in the overalls, and you go, well, I have to get them. It's just the way things are. You can get them at FOCO.com because FOCO has the absolute best officially licensed gear for all sports and fandoms. Whether it's hoodies, jackets, beachwear, even those great overalls, there's something for fans for almost every occasion. And if you're in the market for some accessories, toys, or collectibles for your man cave, she shed, or podcast set, you can use FOCO for all those team gear needs as well. And FOCO always has our back for Philly sports, and they have yours too. You can get the best gear around by using the link in the description of the show. For all non-presale items, use promo code PHLY10. That's PHLY10 for 10% off at FOCO today. FOCO, baby. FOCO. Yeah, this is it's an exciting time. Are you?
Yeah, dude.
How you feeling, man? You feeling Mishkov mania right now?
Oh my God! Like obviously with the Flyers, we're all excited about Mishkov. Yeah, it's super exciting to see like a young pro. I think I told you on the show before. Like I've never felt this anticipation for a player, a young rookie. I didn't feel this for Joel. I didn't feel this for Ben Simmons. I didn't feel this for Carson Wentz. But Michkov, we've been like the Flyers have had us down in the dumps for so long that this is the hope that we've been looking for. And we had this discussion too. Like, is he going to be an assist guy in this first year? Is he going to be a goal scorer? I don't know, Bill. It looks like right now he's trying to create for other people, and I'm not mad at that.
And some of the little things, like that's some of the, like, not even flaws of his game, but just maybe habits that you wondered like how they're going to translate to the NHL.
Right.
They kept like one of the things, I think it was in Charlie's interview with Brent Flair.
Mhm.
And they said, like, one of the things he said that might tick off John Tortorella is in the KHL. And with Sochi, it was a bad team. Like, he just
Right.
wanted to be out there. And the kid loves to play. He loves being on the ice. But Mishkov had a little bit of a tendency to have some really long shifts, stay out on the ice too long. And we know that that does drive Torts nuts. Like, it's something that him and Kevin Hayes were constantly fighting about.
Mhm.
Well, they kept showing his shift and time on ice chart tonight on the broadcast, and I just brought up the box score. Mishkov, 19 shifts, 16:36 time on ice. That tells me, yeah, man, he is not taking too long of shifts. He is getting on and off. He is doing his job. He is ingratiating himself to the coach and kind of just buying into this. This is how you do it here. It's those little things. And when they mentioned this on the broadcast as well, yeah, we've heard maybe not the easiest teammate to get along with. He demands a lot of himself. You saw tonight when he missed the one-timer. He was upset with himself, but he's also a demanding teammate of his line mates. Well, he's definitely distributing. He's definitely not being a puck hog out there. Like, he is ingratiating himself, definitely. Like, he is setting everyone up. Eric freaking Johnson scored a goal tonight. He's got 1 goal and 3 assists so far in 2 games. Like, I think those little things, those are an emphasis for him right now.
Yeah.
And we'll see how the goal scoring translates as the season goes. I wonder, once the season gets going, though, if he's gonna turn that on. Like, now it's preseason.
Yeah.
You know, he's just working on some stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe when those lights turn on, it's like, oh, it's Michigan time.
I can't wait for, like, you know, a February in Pittsburgh. Michkov feels like that Pittsburgh, that crowd get just booing at him. But, like, you could tell, like, his desire for wanting to be great. Like, that 201 with Owen Tippett, right? Where, and by the way, it was a great call by JJ. You know, maybe last year Owen takes that shot, but you got Michkov right there, so pass it up and give it to him. And he misses wide, and you see him, you know, get a little upset with himself. And that's the type of stuff that you love to see. But real quick, we have a celebrity in the chat right now.
We have a celebrity. Ava Graham.
The one and only.
Even though you just called me out on stealing your Shady Rays, I still love you. Go Flyers. Hey, listen. We're trying to sell sunglasses over here. If the person that I'm married to, who otherwise doesn't like polarized sunglasses, really likes these, I got to use that as a personal endorsement.
Gotta pay the
I don't know
bills.
if I'm allowed to do that, given our different employment statuses. But until someone tells me I got to stop, I'm going to keep doing it. You know, I'm going to mention
Amen,
Garrett
brother.
Stubbs as well at the FOCO read, because no one told me I couldn't.
That's right.
That's how we do things here. I just kind of go, and when someone tells me you got to stop doing that, that's when I stop. But man, that's how we do it at PHLY Flyers. What did you think? How encouraged were you? Because I asked Charlie how important he thought tonight's game was for Sam Ersson, and he just said, Sam said whatever, and that is part of what they really like about him. He has that, like, closer makeup.
Yeah.
He's got that short memory. A bad goal, a bad period, a bad game is not going to affect him tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to be when you're a goalie, because
Right.
all those things are going to happen. You're going to let in bad goals. You're going to have horrible nights. It's how you move on from them. It's not letting it become a horrible week. I was very encouraged by this, though, just because, man, I just felt so bad for the way he played last year. Like, it wasn't fair, and the coach acknowledged that. Like,
Right.
yeah, I knew it was a risk, but we didn't have anyone else, so I had to play him, even though I knew that's probably what was going to happen, and it did. Tonight comes out, first game, 37 save shutout. Was it good for you too, JP?
I don't put too much stock into preseason in general, but, like, let's be real. Like, this is one of the big question marks into this year, right? We're hoping that he can be 1A. And I've always, and I've told you this before, like, I love his mindset. I always felt like he's got the right head on his shoulders. Now, the tough part last year was when the Carter Hart situation happened. Everything now, it's like, here you go, Sam. Now, the net's yours. Now you take on this role. And listen, that was tough for a young goalie. Like, people forget, like, he's 24 years old. I mean, like, what were we doing at 24 years old, right? So, like, I think that we'll want to see him in the grind, right? Like in December, January, February,
Yeah.
how does it look at there when you have a couple back-to-backs? And I mean, Fedotov is also another big question mark too. Like we don't know what Fedotov's going to be. Maybe Ersson has to take on more the same role as last year too.
That's it may happen again.
Yeah.
I do wonder, if Fedotov isn't good, and listen, he could be awesome too. Who knows? He's just a blank slate. I have no clue. If he isn't good, though, I wonder, just to give Ersson a proper evaluation, if they just keep running Fedotov out there 1 out of every 3 or 4 games, just to, yeah, man, you're on the backup schedule, even though you have an 870 save percentage, we're going to do it. And also, listen, if we have once a week a scheduled loss, worst case scenario, we're picking in the top 10. Bad goal.
Bill, no.
Listen, I want this team to make the playoffs because it's fun. Playoff hockey is great. But in a rebuild, this team, what do they need? Great talent. The easiest way to get it is to draft it, unless you draft Cutter Gauthier, and he's like, nah. But bad goaltending is the fastest way to tank. And maybe they just keep doing that. Maybe Alexei Kolosov gets a look if Fedotov isn't quite ready to play in the NHL. Yeah. Maybe we have a huge goalie. Maybe we see 8 goalies again like we did a couple of years ago. Who the hell knows? But I don't want to put a tremendous amount of stock in the preseason either. I think you're right to say that. Also, if he had sucked, we'd been like, we're in trouble. Maybe they need to trade for a goalie just to give everyone, we need Ersson. We need to evaluate him properly. So the backup spot's important. Well, it's really hard to evaluate everybody else if the goalie just stinks. Right. It's if everyone does their job and the puck is still in the net, it's you're getting really bad results, even though the process is good. It's hard to keep a team locked in for 82 games if that's happening. At least for one night, we can go, all right, we have an NHL caliber goaltender in Sam Ersson. How good is he? Is he a starter? Is he a franchise goalie? All of that stuff is still to be determined. But tonight, he looked like that NHL player that he looked like for most of last season.
Yeah, and another point too to mention is him along with a lot. I mean, obviously there's a lot turnover back from last year coming into this year. A lot of the players are coming back, and look, that downfall at the end of the year, right? You just missed out on the playoffs. That stung for a lot of people. And I just, even hearing Travis Konechny, in intermission, the interview, them talking about last year's downfall, and for them, that downfall is the motivation that they need this year to get into that spot. And look, Bill, you brought up the rebuild thing. Listen, there are people in the city that do want to see the Flyers get a top 10 pick this year.
I hear from them all the time.
I'm sure they're tweeting at you every single day. But I don't know how you can look at what that team did last year. They exceeded that. They by far exceeded those expectations, right? Knocked on the door on a playoff spot. And now this year, you have the Michkov excitement, right? This team is still, you're hoping, knock on wood, they still play with that tenacity and that physicality that, a lot of the good teams in the Eastern Conference, let's start there, play with. And so I think that it's all coming full circle. And Ersson, obviously, going to be a big part of that, Bill.
And listen, I've said from the beginning, if I and not Keith Jones was named president of the team, which is a hilarious thing to think about, but if it was, President Bill Matz and GM Charlie O'Connor, whatever, we would probably go with this is going to be a long-term 2-3 years, really, really tear it all down and start completely over sort of rebuild. But that's not the path the team took. They believe that playing in meaningful games and getting that experience will make the players they have better and eventually ready to win.
I agree.
And if that's the path that they've decided on, then I want it to work. So them getting to the playoffs and learning what playoff hockey is, and after last year's collapse, not falling apart in the final month of the season.
Yeah.
Those are steps in the right direction if this is the path we're taking. Do I agree with the way this thing started? No. But this is where we're going now. You can't just, I don't like where we're going, I'm going to jump out the car. No, you'll die. You can't jump out of a moving vehicle. So
you'll die.
Yeah, this is where we're going, so I want this thing to work. So, and also, listen, man, playoff hockey is really going to boost our numbers. And like I always say, I got a contract. I'm on a contract here too. Like, the team going to the playoffs is good for all of us.
But like, how can you be against it with this philosophy? Like for the fans that do want that tanking aspect, like number one, right? Like if you're a Flyers fan, you live in the city. You've been living in the city for a while. You went through the Sixers process. They were losing on purpose. They were putting G League players out there, and that wasn't conducive because those players did not know how to win. They didn't know. And look what's going on now. But just look around the NHL. The Buffalo Sabres are the perfect example, dude. You don't want to be rebuilding for 10 years.
It's often, as much as you can look at things and go, well, listen, yeah, man, that's how a lot of the winning teams did it. Yes, and that's how a lot of failing teams did it as well. Like, there have been a lot of teams picking in the top 5, top 10 for several years, and they are no closer than they were when this thing started. Like, I get it, because it's what I would have done. But I don't know. Maybe this is a different sort of plan. Maybe it can work. I like the team they have right now.
Yeah.
Yes, they need a 1C so badly. Maybe it's eventually Jet Luchenko. Maybe they trade for somebody. Maybe they sign someone. Maybe in this upcoming draft with 6 picks that are going to be in like the top 50 probably, they're able to get someone who can fill that role in the future. I would love another top pair defenseman. I think they badly need one of those. Yeah. I don't love York and Sanheim as a top pair on a really good team. They're both kind of, they're solid top 4 guys. I don't know if them together make a top pair on a championship team. But I think they have a lot of the right pieces. I like what I'm seeing right now. If they can just solidify it down the middle, find another defenseman, hopefully one of these freaking goalies turns out to be the guy. They have a bunch. Kolosov's here now, and we're going to talk about that plenty tomorrow. Zavragin, Bjarnason still, they're a while away, but really loved what I saw out of Bjarnason in the rookie game and in his one preseason appearance. Zavragin, last I checked, his KHL numbers were good. I haven't seen him in a couple days. I was off. I wasn't doing hockey stuff in those 2 days. I actually did. Like, I say that, and I filmed 2 different videos. Like, I interviewed Bernie Perrant. We'll have that up maybe tomorrow.
There.
I did stuff, but it was 15 minutes worth of stuff, not hours of show prep.
Yeah.
But hopefully they check one of the box and goal for one of these guys. I know I've been saying all along this might take a little longer than we think. I don't know. And maybe it's just Mishkov mania running through my veins right now. But if this guy is a 60, 70-point player at 19, 20 years old, his rookie year, his first time in North America, barely speaking the freaking language, what's he going to be in 3 years?
Exactly.
What's he going to be in 5 years? I'm feeling good tonight, man. I hope all of our fans are feeling well as well. Let's do the super chats now. What do we have? 1, 2?
We got 2.
We have 2 super chats. Let's hit the super chats and then see where we are.
JH.
All right. First one here from JH. Why not us, Bill? Why not us? Look, you look around at least the Eastern Conference, like JP was just saying. Yes, the Rangers are good. Are they great? Yeah, they have some great players, but I don't know. They haven't shown to be great yet in the postseason. They're better than the Flyers, certainly. They're further along. They have more high-end talent. The Rangers are above them. Carolina has been above them. They also made a lot of subtractions. Now, the style they play, the talent they did keep, they are a good team. It will shock me if they are not in the top 3 in the division.
I agree.
Could very well win the division.
Yeah.
Carolina continues to be an excellent, at least regular season team.
Yeah.
The rest of the division, the Devils are supposed to be good. Who says they you
don't think
they were supposed to be good last year? They sucked. Yes, injuries and goaltending sunk them. You would think they won't have that same injury luck, but one thing I know about guys who get hurt all the time is they get hurt all the time. And Jacob Markstrom, while a good goalie, is 35 years old. Who's to say he's the answer to their problems? Yeah, so I don't know if the Devils are, now they're back on track to being cup contenders. I think they're good. I don't think they're great.
Dude,
maybe I'll be proven wrong if they all stay healthy, but
I think they might be that team that team that didn't make the playoffs, that does make the playoffs. They might be knocking on the door to that.
They absolutely should. The talent on the Devils roster, the young players they have, the experience they've now gained, they absolutely should be. But if Jack Hughes and Dougie Hamilton get hurt again, they're not that good.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. And Who else is really like? Yes, the Atlantic is a very tough division.
Well, real quick with the Metro. I mean, the Caps got to take a step back at some point, right?
They're just
Pittsburgh has to take a step back.
Pittsburgh and Washington are just like the definition of mediocre. Like they just are. They're on their way down. Like they're probably maybe equal to the Flyers. But it's like they're going this way and the Flyers are going this way and they're meeting here.
I know.
And it's like if the Flyers' young guys get a little better, they're better than both of those teams, maybe by a considerable amount. After that, the division's bad.
Yeah.
And then the Atlantic.
Boston,
who the hell knows what they are? They just keep being good. But what has made them great lately?
Does Florida
Their goaltending.
Yeah.
Olmark is now in Ottawa, and Jeremy Swayman continues to be unsigned. Like, their GM is saying, oh, yeah, we'll get it done by, December 1st deadline. Well, that's 2 months into the season. Like, you can sink your team in the first 2 months. And then after he comes back, like, is he going to be in shape? I don't know. He hasn't played yet. So we'll see about Boston, but they always defy the odds. But, Toronto's good. Tampa, they're on their way down, but they still have a ton of talent.
Yeah.
Like, they'll be in the playoff mix, maybe not, like, threatening to win the division or anything, but I don't see a juggernaut in the East. Like, you look out west and you're like, man, there's some freaking awesome teams there, but why not us, JH? Why not us? You make the playoffs, anything can happen, right?
That's
all right.
right.
And let's check that next super chat.
We got Corey.
All right, we have Corey here. Just wait until we trade for Mikko Rantanen at the deadline.
Did we say it last deadline?
Yeah. I would be the kind of year that, like, Mishkov and Drysdale and Ersson would have to have for this team to be adding at the deadline is, I love your optimism. It's a very exciting thing to think about. But damn, man. Yeah, that just means so many. And I think they can make the playoffs, or at least threaten to make the playoffs again without any additions.
Yeah.
But for them to be like, yeah, let's go for it, would the year those three guys in particular would have to have is, eggplant emoji. Like that's what we're talking about here. If they're also, why is Colorado subtracting at the deadline? Because even if they can't get Rantanen signed, it's like, well, they're still in go for it mode. Like they're still a team. But hey, man, he might be one of those guys you're looking to steal. You're looking to sign at some point. Who knows? Maybe it's not at the deadline, but July 1st is never as far away as you think it is, JP.
As our own Jamie the Bro Lunch would say, getting horned up on that one.
And that's like Mikko Rantanen is the perfect player. You just look at why they're rebuilding now.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, if they take Rantanen instead of Provorov and Heiskanen instead of Patrick, we're not rebuilding.
Oh,
we're not rebuilding. Now, we probably don't have
man.
Matvei Mishkov, and we're all in on Mishkov mania.
I know.
I am just trying to repeat his name so much that it becomes natural to say Mishkov. Like, I'm just trying to keep saying it so I get Michkov out of my head and make Mishkov the way I say it.
If Ava doesn't think you're crazy yet, you're just going to think you're crazy now.
It's going to take me a couple of weeks, guys, just to let you know I'm going to say Michkov multiple times, but I'm thinking about it and trying really hard. All right, do we have anything else tonight, JP?
That is it. So, Bill, you're going to learn Russian too? Is that what I'm getting?
The idea, they're talking about him on the broadcast tonight. Like, they're talking about Mishkov. Like he's gaining a better understanding of English. He's working on it.
I love that, man.
The idea of learning a language to me is like magic. I just I don't have the brain capacity for it, and I am so impressed that he's like, oh yeah, he's picking it up. Like that's awesome. And I also just love, like Charlie said, that like TK's been busting his balls a little. Like they're treating him like one of the guys
That's
already.
good,
They're making him part of this thing. It's good to see. It's very good to see that the culture that they've been building is hopefully going to pay off sooner than later as they, integrate this brand new foreign teenager into a locker room. But I think that's it. So I want to thank, before we get out of here, all of our diehards. If you're not a diehard, what the hell are you doing? Go to allphly.com, sign up right now to be a diehard, get all of our premium content. I mean, Charlie's putting out article after article for our diehard subscribers. It's worth it just for him. But you don't just get one sport, you get our whole superstar roster of writers and reporters, plus access to the Discord, discounts on merch and events. So many benefits to being a diehard. It's kind of crazy not to be. Also, follow us right here on YouTube and hit that reminder bell so you never miss a live show. We'll be back with our regular start time, 4 o'clock tomorrow. Make sure you're, I like that with Jalen. Hit the like button. I like that.
We'll get one with Mishkov soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Follow us on Twitter at PHLY_Flyers. And follow the podcast as well. Wherever you get those, just search PHLY Flyers. Until tomorrow, my friends, my name is Bill Matz. That's JP Zapata. You stay loose and sexy, Philly.